Hello, my name is Hamish, and this is the continuation to my first ever proper YouTube video, ranking quote-unquote all Race Around the World maps. Here, we will be reviewing the new Season 3 and 4 maps. This will exist as a separate ranking, but also see this as a part 2. One day, I may do an overall ranking of every map for real, as some of my opinions on my old video have changed, but for today, we are exclusively talking about Season 3 and 4. You do not have to watch the other Race Around the World video for this video to make sense, but I do recommend it. It's a little dated, but aren't we all? Anyways, we have a lot of ground to cover, so let's start the ranking portion of this video. Okay, I know I literally just broke the first rule I set up in this video, as this map is from Season 2, but also I didn't cover it, so here's my official opinion. I don't like this map. The dumpling challenge is the bane of my existence, with it always taking me literally forever to finish it. It's like I'm forced to flop against my will whenever I play on this map. I'm also really not a fan of having to use a boat halfway through a leg, as it just makes it feel kinda choppy, not gonna lie. The feat choice challenge is not that bad, with it literally just being some fairly easy time jumps that's over before you know it. Although it can be a little annoying if parkour isn't really your thing. Then in that case, you would be better off doing the hands challenge, which is much more slower than the feet challenge, but it's more consistent overall. Although I'd say it's easier, I don't typically play the hand challenge as it's much more slow-paced and kinda boring. Also, just to add on a bit, I strongly dislike the whole spend more money to go up/down faster than climbing upstairs. It's an annoying feature that only exists to spend more money, because if you don't pay up, you risk being last place. Don't fall for their mind games. This map is a very unique country choice, and I kinda stand the representation of lesser known countries. With that being said, this map is arguably the worst map from Season 3! The challenges feel uninspired and really dull. Take this Scarlet Ibis challenge as a great example of that. The challenge is literally just counting how many birds are in the lake, and if that number is below 30, it is barely a challenge. But apart from that way too easy challenge, the choice challenge between fire and earth is a step up. But at this point, the bar was on the floor. The fire challenge is much more risky, as if you make a single mistake, you're out. It's a very high pressure scenario, especially if you're near the end. And while if you do it right, it can take less time than earth, I can only seem to do it right about 50% of the time. And that's a coin toss I'm not willing to do. The Earth challenge is much more stable. All you need to do is... dig through like 20 piles of dirt, and oh my god, they take forever to excavate. While it's a safer choice over fire, it's incredibly boring and isn't based off any skill. You could probably do this with your eyes closed as long as you have a seismic sense of when you have a piece. So, you probably couldn't do this with your eyes closed. Overall, this map features 2 challenges that can barely be considered a challenge, and then one that makes me feel genuine fear. I don't know if that's balanced, but go off, I guess. I'm sorry, but I'm just not a fan. Cusco is very unique, and it overall looks amazing. It's hard to show that off though, because I'm playing on 1 out of 10 graphics, so not really getting the full experience here. But to be honest, in Season 4, every map looks insanely good. So we've gotten to the point where simply looking pretty is kinda the status quo. And this map deserves better. But also maybe it doesn't? I don't know, 11th place just suits it. The team challenge is back, but I wish it wasn't. This challenge is really confusing when I first played it, and it still feels kind of janky and weird. It's not a bad challenge, it's simply not that interesting. It can be intense, but that's to no credit of the challenge, but rather who you're versing against. But apart from that, the other challenge here is actually kind of therapeutic. I know this is meant to be a scary struggle color switcher of death, but it doesn't really feel like there are any stakes. It kind of feels like just a fun little activity to do in the middle of this huge, intense race. Also, when recording footage for this video, this map literally never appeared, and by the time it did, I was shocked and so happy, and that's literally my most positive experience I've had with this map. Wish I could rank it higher based off that alone, but here it is, just behind the top 10. OMG, hey K-pop stans, please don't kill me! Seoul is seriously such an average map that it's not even funny anymore. I feel like the atmosphere is all off. We're at Seoul and it feels so desolate that it looks like someone just decided to build a big shopping mall in the middle of an empty field in the middle of nowhere and not in one of the biggest cities in the world. Apart from the whole vibe, the challenges are actually kind of fun. Of course, the mall shopping challenge is very stressful, and being timed is both a blessing and a curse, as it can make it, more competitive, but also at around the 15-second mark, everyone just waits for the time to run out depending on how far away the item is. Other than that, the other challenge is one of those, you need to wait your turn challenges, which are so fun. The challenge involves of turning more dots green than the other competitor. And can I just say, oh my god, I flopped here. This makes me look so bad. I actually spent so long waiting for someone else to arrive that they just let me move on. So thank you, game, I guess. My final critique of this map is that it's yet another pay to get up quicker maps, which now holds a record for holding my two least favorite map layouts in this game. Let's be for real. This map is so bold to do this. Okay, this map is just straight up unfair. I personally really love the look of this map. It's by far one of the prettiest. And what it has in beauty makes it lack in literally everything else. First off, there is no use to walk, as the cheapest boat costs around $5 to $10, and it goes so much faster than walking, effectively making everyone only take the gondola. At least with the other low-cost rides, there was a chance it would be slower than walking to really feel like a risk-reward kind of thing, but no, I guess we can't have nice things here. Also, I haven't even spoken about the challenges. Either you can place your mouse on a green dot for 10 seconds to move on, or spend forever to slowly, painstakingly build up this glass wall. Which one will you choose? Because I know what I'm choosing, and so does everybody else who's ever played this game. Yeah, I get that most choice challenges in the game have one option that's typically better than the other, but this isn't even a competition. This is just sad. And the other challenge is so stupid, as RNG dictates whether or not you're gonna have to deliver the pizza at the very end of the strip, or one that's right next to the pizzeria. And oh my god, it can be so upsetting to be the first one there, but be the fifth to leave, because the game kept giving you the further doors. Of course, we love a challenge where someone in last place can climb up to the top, but this is not it. The map is very pretty though. I'll go so far as to say it's my favorite design-wise, so that's the only thing keeping it at 9th place. Caracas is really cool. I like the whole vibe, aesthetic, aura, energy, mood, feel, and every other describing word in the world.
The challenges here aren't really that memorable, with my least favorite being the Catch the Water choice challenge. I understand what they were trying to do here with you needing to stand under the gate with the flowing water, but the things change so fast for me that I end up just sitting under one or focusing on only 2 or 3 of them. It's boring and slow-paced, and compared to the other choice challenge, it's torn to shreds, as the Cross the Water is a more high-stakes crossy road that makes me eek and squeal. I love it. It's a fun little challenge that makes you time your jumps and you feel so iconic after doing it on the first try. And the last challenge? All you need to do is connect the pipes with the bucket. It's pretty easy, although my friend did flop at it really badly once, so it is a little traumatic. All I'm saying is if you've ever played the Overflow minigame in Animal Jam, you know what to do here. Also, one final note, this final part where you need to go on the plane and fly over the massive ever-expanding void to run over to this little extra challenge is so cool to me. Although the challenge is reused from South Africa, I honestly don't care and live for the vibe of climbing Angel Falls. This part makes the map pop out so much, and I just absolutely love the design, challenge, and transport at the very end, which easily elevates this map so much.
Let's be real. Everybody has that one finale map that they love, and then they have the 2 that aren't desired, and therefore you don't want to waste your time stressing about them. And if this map knows anything, it knows how to make you stressed. The first challenge is actually 2 challenges in one, and they consist of really stereotypical casino games. But I absolutely love how they fit into the theme perfectly. The ball and cup part is mostly just focusing on the little symbols and where they are, which is all good until you make a mistake and have to try again. And blackjack is honestly just iconic. And of course it's mostly luck, but at the same time it works so well, and we love that for it. But of course, when thinking about this map, my mind goes to the final challenge. The really long, tedious letter hunt to spell out a word. The challenge is so boring, yet so goddamn stressful. I'll be shaking and quaking in my little boots at the same time as forgetting I'm in the finale because of how long this challenge goes on for. Unless you and someone else started the challenge at the same time, there is a 99% chance that the first person who arrived will win, and it just leads to an experience that doesn't feel like it has any charisma. The challenge is less of a challenge and more walking a lot while knowing you're gonna win if you're first in, and knowing you're gonna lose if you're second or third in. I don't know if I prefer it over Los Angeles, but I know I prefer the 6 maps in front of it. Cancun is honestly an adventure of a map. For starters, I've only been able to play this map a few times because it just never appears, but when it does, it's like a little afternoon treat. As we know, this map looks really good, as does every Season 4 map, but this one just has that little bit of pizzazz that makes it really stand out. The first challenge is this weird square memory match minigame that is honestly so much harder than it should be, but I love that for it. I may have stereotypical goldfish memory, but I'ma be real, I love this challenge because if in doubt, I can always cheat off of others. After hashtag winning in that challenge, the second challenge's aesthetic just looks really nice. I really like the beach here. Out of all of the choice challenges, the sand one is probably seen as easier and faster, but in my opinion, it's boring, and I don't want to do the boring route, as all you do here is collect sand and build sand castles, and to be honest, that is not worth my time. I much rather prefer the sea challenge, as it's an underwater maze made out of lobster cages. It's also weirdly pretty and so much more fun than collecting sand, so even though it probably takes longer, I picked this one over the other. This map is so fun to play, and I just absolutely love the challenges here. Yes, the sand challenge may be a bit boring, and yes, the memory challenge may be a bit confusing, but
I just absolutely adore this map. Okay, it's been out for quite a while when this video comes out, but in my defense, that's not my fault, I swear. Anyways, avoiding that question, I find this map so cool and interesting. The choice challenge jumping is kinda time consuming and doesn't really stand out if I'm being honest, and it's actually not that much faster than the second choice challenge, throwing. The throwing challenge is much more engaging than the jumping challenge, and if I'm being honest, I'm noticing a theme. Little fun fact about this footage, this is actually the first time I played this challenge. You can literally see the gears turning while I play this, and I love that. Anyways, it's just a more enjoyable experience to pick throwing over jumping. However, if you keep missing, it can be pretty infuriating, not gonna lie. However, the main challenge is the race, which involves 3 or more teams being present, and they all have to race to see who can count the leaves the fastest. It can be pretty scary and take a while if you have a lot of leaves, but there's also a chance you'll have like 17. But overall, it's a really pretty challenge and a basic counting challenge turned fun and kind of intense. Not gonna lie, I think I'm starting to stand this map. Okay, is this really surprising? Marrakesh is by far the best Season 3 map. It's engaging, intense, exciting, jaw-dropping, and more all in one map. For starters, while I'm not a fan of desert maps, this just does it so well, and the challenges here are pulled off so wonderfully. The Tannery challenge is such a solid challenge. It has layers. Not only do you need to avoid the paint on the floor, but you also need to paint the bags a certain color by mixing the 5 default colors they give you. It's such a perfect example of a good challenge. It has a little bit of a learning curve, but once you get past that, you can zoom on by, and it feels so rewarding to do well in this challenge. The choice challenges also hold so much diversity, as in the enclosed challenge is a fun little challenge about guiding a sheep in a cage, although sometimes the sheep can be really annoying depending on how they react. And the engraved challenge is pure torture. I strongly believe that 99% of people who pick the engraved challenge only do it because they haven't played this map before. This challenge is upsetting. It can literally destroy you if it's given the chance. It's an annoying find the symbol challenge done to the extreme. I don't like it, and I'm a little bit shocked on how I actually completed this challenge before the time ran out. So this map is home to some high highs and some low lows, but most of the time, I don't have to play on engraved, so it's a really enjoyable leg. Just know what you're getting yourself into if you willingly decide to do the engraved challenge. I'm gonna be so real. This map is held back by the choice challenges. This map is home to some lovely buildings and gorgeous scenery. It's very aesthetically pleasing, and all elements of the map come together for one perfect challenge. Jumping the hurdles is such an amazing challenge. Not only is it so visually unique from all of the challenges, but it's also way more challenging and intense. If you're playing on a duo, then there are people watching you flop from the bleachers that can make the experience so much more impactful. I believe if this was a challenge ranking tier list, this would be an S tier with finding the flags from New York City. It's that good. The part that lets this map down for me are both the choice challenges. Yes, both. The choice challenges here are either really annoying and time-consuming, or really annoying and time-consuming for me. The mythology challenge is one that I see so many people do so easily, but oh my god, I don't know if I'm just silly or if my reaction time is so delayed, but I cannot complete this for the life of me, which almost actually costed my life in-game as I was the last to arrive. Not to mention, the challenge is boring. Where is the flavor? And while philosophy is considered the worst option, and I wholeheartedly agree, that just means I can't do either of the challenges. This philosophy challenge is so boring, and the only difference in these rows of books is the words on them. And sometimes I get distracted by a book name that just sounds so interesting, and I forget I'm meant to find Tutti Glee Scratini, or however you pronounce it, and I also lost here. This is the only map where I lost in both challenges. My bad. Overall, Athens is better enjoyed in pieces for me rather than fully playing it. And while the hurdles challenge is amazing, the same cannot be said for either choice challenges. I give the bronze medal to Athens. Okay, this one is definitely a little biased, as I kind of live in New Zealand and have been to Queenstown. But also, oh my god, this map is so vibrant and colorful and honestly has one of my favorite aesthetics of any map in the game. I love the huge mountain range look here. It looks so similar to the vibe of Vancouver, which is one of my other favorite maps. The bungee jumping challenge is a little confusing, but also just so well done. And getting perfects on it makes me feel so accomplished. Everything here comes together for a really amazing package of timing your clicks and the amazing visuals around here. The choice challenges are definitely a little bit of a step down, but although I don't like rugby or sports that much, I do really like the kick it challenge, as it's also about timing but a bit more difficult and a bit more rewarding. This challenge is also fun to play in duos, as it's really all about teamwork. It's also fun to see the rugby balls move in the way that they do. They look so goofy. Although the catch it challenge is a bit more boring, I understand why some people may prefer it, as it's a more safe option that has been done before in this game. For me personally though, I'm indifferent to this challenge as it can be kind of annoying. Then, the little checkpoint zone you go to at the end is so cute! I actually liked it so much, I visited it when I went to Queenstown last year. I'm sorry if the photos are a little bad, I was just happy to be there. Overall, while my ranking may be a little bit biased, it's still such a good map, and I can't help it, we still need a little patriotism in this video. This map is drop dead gorgeous. For real though, it looks so pretty, and I'm so upset that my stupid one singular graphic does not capture all the natural beauty around, because oh my god, the whole look is lovely. While the other maps create a world for you, this one immerses you in that world, and I'm so upset I can't show it off amazingly. The drum challenge, where you have to hit either the red lining or the blue middle, is a unique spin on the rhythm game scene in Brazil, and even though it can be a little disorienting to move your mouse on time with the beats, it feels so rewarding. But other than that, let's get on to the real MVPs of the MVP map. The choice challenges. Athens could never. Now, unlike 90% of all the maps, both of these challenges are enjoyable, and can be seen as faster or slower than the other. I personally prefer the Make the Tea challenge because it's a fun memory game that really allows me to challenge myself, with there being different qualities a certain thing adds to tea and how randomized the whole thing is, leading to a unique playing experience that can't easily be replicated. Although it does take me on average a little bit longer than the Pick the Flowers challenge, which is much more simple with all you needing to do is match the flower assortment you have. While it does take some brain storage up by having to know where you need to place a flower, it can also be pretty easy depending on the assortment you get. I personally like the tea challenge more, but honestly I wouldn't be mad if I was forced to do both, which is something I can't say for 9 out of 10 of the other choice challenge maps. Overall, the quality of the challenges and the quality of the builds are above S tier, and really show off the strengths this game has. I believe visually, this is the most pretty map, with it only being rivaled by a few others. I believe Kyoto. is the best out of all Season 4 and 3 maps, including Beijing. Hey! Thanks for making it to the end of the video. Sorry this one took a little long. I first wanted to wait for Nairobi to come out, and then Athens and Queenstown got taken out of the game, and then when they came back, it took so long for me to actually play the specific maps. A big challenge in the video process was getting to play every map twice, as there are now like 25 to 30-ish maps, and trying to play one specific map took forever, as well as the fact that a lot of things happening in real life made this video come out a lot later than I was hoping it would. Overall, rank-wise, I'd say these maps are consistently better than the ones in Season 1 and 2, as there are more overall that I liked. I also enjoyed making this video a lot. I had my hardships, but I've changed my equipment and softwares I used, and the past 3 videos have all been edited by different editing software. But of course, if you disagree with my rankings, my opinions are finalized now, so should have corrected me when you had the chance. You had a 3-month time period. Thank you all for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed my part 2 to the Race Around the World saga. I do not know if I will make another Race Around the World video, but hopefully I'll see you again in a few months.